Engineer 1v1 Leviathan Hive blue side. Rumpelstilzchen plays a Warboss. Melee commander leads the line from the front with destruction, damage and buffs. Up against Bubbar on the red side, playing a Eldar Farseer support commander. Fights melee, has a bunch of buffs and debuffs, can put out some decent damage too though. Very long map east to west. We have a natural for Bubbar in the southeast, natural for Rumpelstilzchen in the southwest, and a contested VP in the north on this raised area. Double shooter boys for Rumpelstilzchen. Light ranged infantry, very solid tier 1 unit. Can be upgraded with big shooters and a leader in tier 1, allowing them to suppress and making them a detector unit. Bubbar goes for Howling Banshees. Very, very dangerous against both Orc sluggers and shooter boys if they can get into melee. Early lead for Bubbar, capping his natural first, and we might see an engagement early on. Farseer and Howling Banshees versus double shooters and the Warboss. Nope, Bubbar backing off, perhaps rightly. Double shooters focusing down Banshees can be nasty. We have sluggers taking the north, and a shuriken cannon on the way for Bubbar. Here's the Guardians, light ranged infantry, nice damage output, but quite fragile. Banshees caught by shooters who will try and decap here. Well, they know they are just going to shoot. They love Daka. More than capping. Eldar Farseer in combat with these shooter boys, not where they want to be. Takes out a model. Can she take out another? No, she has a special attack. Guardians do not have the extra equipment, so he won't see a grenade. They do take out another model though. Sluggers on capping duty, as they usually are in tier 1. Shuriken cannon setting up, trying to prevent this cap. Warboss getting really angry with a generator there. And shooter boys will start to take losses. And there's the first loss. And they retreat. Setup team that suppress. Quite maneuverable for a setup team, but you cannot upgrade them in tier 2. Suppression is pretty much always useful though. Farseer, will she finish this cap? Here comes some sluggers, unupgraded. Are vulnerable to melee commanders because special attacks can really hurt them, especially this 360 special attack that the Eldar Farseer has. Howling Banshees retaking Bubbar's natural, and another generator goes up. Warboss didn't take one down. Double gens for Rumpelstilzchen. And we have double big shooters, as you can see. Gives 2 members of the squad big shooters, more DPS, and gives you aiming what's that, so you can suppress. Farseer being a nuisance again, going after these sluggers. Can she get a special attack off? Nope, but the sluggers do lose a model. Scared off by the shuriken. And the Farseer is not capping here. Misclick for Bubbar. Double shooters going up the east side to harass Power and this VP again, I imagine. Warboss coming back out of base, breaking stuff. Farseer does start capping. Shuriken covering this node. This wreck point uncapped right now. Storm boys hit the field for Rumpelstilzchen. Jump infantry will be used to try and nullify the shuriken by jumping into it. Very powerful offensively with power weapons, but you need to look after them because they are not cheap to reinforce. Guardians lose a member to those shooters, with that big shooters are nasty. They have their battle equipment though, giving them more health, a plasma grenade and an energy shield. Farseer getting way too close, special attack, and goes down in retreat. These shooters need to move off. They use War, and these shooters over here are too far away. What is the Warboss doing? She's trying to walk right into the shuriken. and goes down, I imagine. Surely. No, gets away. Unbelievable. Shuriken getting very low on health. Hasn't lost a model yet though. Shooter boys trying to suppress it, and they do so. But now these shooters in big trouble. Here come Howling Banshees trying to get into the retreat path. And chop, 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 chop. Ouch. Almost lost the entire squad there. Howling Banshees so dangerous on retreat. With their high melee damage and high speed. Storm boys finished at cap. 4-6-2, 4-3-3, a 2-1 for Rumpelstilzchen. And Bubbar goes tier 2. Very light tier 1. Farseer getting Armour of Fortune. Howling Banshees have their aspect. Haven't really seen them get stuck in yet, apart from taking out those shooters just then. They are bashing this node, quite good at bashing generators, as you can see. Here come Sluggers and Storm Boys to defend. Storm Boys jumping in. Ard Boys is put on them. That's a global buff from the Warboss. Otherwise, Banshees would be pretty bad news for these guys. Special attacks, as you can see, make Banshees so powerful in melee. Very high melee skill. Ard Boys is keeping these Storm Boys in there though. Banshees backing off. Here is the Farseer. Guardians getting shots in as they try and cap. They did decap, but are forced off. Here is the Shuriken. Storm Boys don't want to chase though. 4-6-2, 4-0-8. Bubbar is already tier 2. A little way off. Psychic Might to get an Autark, which could be good to drop on the double shooters. Shuriken setting up in the Warboss's face. Shooter boys trying to suppress it, and they do so. Warboss trying to use this suppression to get into range, and well played by Rumpelstilzchen. 4-6-2, 4-0-8. Still, these sluggers idle. Rumpelstilzchen takes his natural back for a 2-1. The powers haven't really been touched. Rumpelstilzchen 3/4 of the way to tier 2. Bubbar now has an X up for his Howling Banshees, who gets her Executioner Spear because of their aspect. And these shooters in huge amounts of trouble. Rumpelstilzchen very, very late to move them off. There's a big stomp from the Cyborg implants, but the shooters do not survive. Warboss gets away though. Guardians have a Warlock leader too. Bubbar focusing on upgrading the squads he has in tier 2 first. Howling Banshees getting very low. Storm Boys jumping after them, trying to finish these ladies off. Here comes a Shuriken to help out. Very nicely kited by Bubbar, keeping the Banshees in play and avoiding damage. Very nice play. Can't quite finish off the Storm Boys, but they might be able to decap Rumpelstilzchen's natural. And this power is getting bashed by sluggers. They are getting their Knob Leader too, and they're going to finish taking out this generator, looks like. Farseer not interested in helping, and they didn't take out the generator there. Didn't want to risk losing the squad. Howling Banshees deciding to bash power instead of decapping, and a Shuriken has come to help him out. 4-6-2, 295, a double for Rumpelstilzchen, and we have a Death Dread on the field walker vehicle for Orks. Very nasty in melee with a huge special attack. Not the toughest walker, but can get an upgrade. Burners and bits. Excellent at bashing generators when it does get its burners. Eldar Farseer capping the contested North VV. And the Eldar managed to decap here, so it's going to be a double until Rumpelstilzchen recaps. Bubbar now needs to deal with this Death Dread. And he has fully kitted out his Farseer. She has her Singing Spear, her straight up DPS weapon, good versus all targets. Armour of Fortune and Spirit Stones. She doesn't want to run into these sluggers though. And she's going to engage him. She needs some special attacks to survive here, and there's one. Swampum used, not sure why, only protects versus ranged attacks. She's taking out models here, but she's gonna die. Very, very risky to take on an upgraded slugger squad. You'd need almost constant special attacks to survive. And we have a Bright Lance, dedicated anti-vehicle platform for Eldar. Huge damage to vehicles, but does not stun or snare them. So usually needs a bit of support. Huge range, as you can see. It's going to start getting shots off on this Death Dread, and look at the damage. Does not have its bonus and bits, so only 650 hit points. And the Banshee should be able to easily finish it off with their power weapons and that melee heavy spear that the Exarch has. Down goes the Dreadnought. Rumpelstilzchen really should have moved it off. Complete waste of that Walker, and didn't finish taking out his generator either. 427, 236, and a triple cap for Rumpelstilzchen. Guardians in a firefight with shooters, neither of them interested in taking cover. Warboss now has his big mean power claw. Huge damage versus all targets. No vehicles on the field for Bubbar though. I would have spent those resources elsewhere personally. We have tank busters. He must be expecting a vehicle, perhaps a Falcon or a Wraith Lord, but no sign of him yet. Those tank busters aren't going to be much use. 427, 173. Bubbar taking the contested and taking their natural back too, thanks to Howling Banshees. Can they pull this around? Now have this Bright Lance, which is not very useful at all versus infantry, since the Bright Lance damage type cannot hit infantry very well. Very good at taking out generators though, as is sure. Howling Banshees finishing the cap. Farseer did finish the cap, but can she defend it? I don't think so. Here comes a Shuriken. Storm Boys will jump it. No sign of their Knob Leader yet, who is very, very nasty. In fact, Rumpelstilzchen going tier 3. Autark dropping down. Global ability of all Eldar commanders. Ouch, and she's doing absolutely tons of damage with her entrance grenades. That was crazy. Almost took out 2 entire squads. Storm Boys will retreat, and surely this is all over. And they do go down, and that was an excellent engagement for Bubbar. Rumpelstilzchen LOLs. Perhaps he was busy, he must have been busy microing these shooters to not see the Autark dropping in. Banshees retreats. Did not lose a model though. 422, 157. The trouble with Banshees is they will most likely bleed you quite a lot. He's prevented that quite nicely though so far. Guardians use their fleet to get away from the Warboss and in fact lead him into this Shuriken. Nicely done by Bubbar. Autark is making a nuisance of herself. Already has her spear. Leaping over cover and chopping stuff up. Shooters retreating. We might see a grenade on retreat here by the Guardians. Are we going to see it? No. Autark jumps in. Healing. Also gives a passive buff to surrounded infantry. As you can see, that blew around the Guardian's feet. Nice grenade there, taking out 3 sluggers. Autark inspiring nearby troops when she kills stuff too. And sluggers retreat. Rumpelstilzchen losing models and squads left and right, but is putting so much pressure on the victory points. And as a 422 130 lead, this generator somehow is still alive. Alive, still up and running. Here comes a Knob squad for Rumpelstilzchen. Elite tier 3 infantry that can go toe to toe with anything and usually win. Interested to see how Bubbar deals with these guys. Might want double shurikens. The Bright Lance is still around. Where is it? It's probably going to go and bash power again. Howling Banshee's working on this node. Farseer stabbing a generator and a shuriken decapping. It is the Nob squad with big, mean two-handed chain axes. They actually have melee heavy, despite the fist icon indicating power melee. Start out with 4 members. It's very expensive to fully upgrade them, and quite rightly, because they become ridiculously powerful, getting into range of the shuriken thanks to Frenzy. Tank busters, which have been a complete waste so far, are forced off. A double for Bubbar. Still getting by with 1 generator. Going tier 3 in fact. Howling Banshee's in combat with the Nob squad. And Fortune put down on them, I believe. No sign of guide. She needs to use her spirit stones. Farseer needs to use her spirit stones right now. Banshee's losing members left and right, does not use it, and the Banshee's quiet because of that. Lapsing concentration for Bubbar, didn't use the ability the Farseer could have used to save those Banshees there. 317, 130. Tried to hang with Nob squad in melee and did not go very well. They have their huge hammers also. Did not lose a model then. Orks running from sluggers. 314, 130. Nob squad really putting a momentum into Rumpelstilzchen's hands. Here comes a shuriken to try and defend this power. Nob squad getting their Nob leader, who's a very, very mean Nob. Plasma grenade. Squishing a bunch of shooters. Tank busters will try and defend this victory point, will they? Meanwhile, sluggers catching the shuriken. Howling Banshees, can they save it with their war shout? No need. Now in melee with those sluggers. That's Nob leader is so nasty though, taking out models with his super knife. Now the Farseer forces them off. Here comes the Warboss. Claw, so nasty. Also has his boss pole. Now in combat with the Farseer, stuns her with his big stomp. Here comes the Orks. Cannot knock him down with her passive leap. Don't think the Warboss can take on both of them. He's trying to take out the Farseer though, and pays for it with death. Orks finishing him on retreat. 298, 113, a 2-to-1 for Bubbar, and has replaced the Howling Banshees and upgraded them already. Nob squad on capping duty, they're not too pleased. Here come tank busters. Needs to push them up and bash power with them, I think, to make them at least useful. Bright Lance on capping duty. Sluggers ignoring it, going for the VP, I think. Nope, they are going for it. And this is going to be very, very bad day for the Bright Lance. Orks forces off shooters. Nob squad and tank busters pressuring Bubbar's natural, and in fact taking it. What are the tank busters doing? Getting caught by Banshees and being forced off is what they're doing. Frenzy popped by the Nob squad. You can see the momentum rings going up their bodies from them huge hammers. Bubbar needs his shuriken here. Nob squad going after the Farseer. Very, very bad news for the Farseer. She's trying to finish this cap. Guardians getting shots in. There's guide put onto the Guardians by the Farseer. That's the buff that she starts the game with. Very nice ability. 264, 109, and a single for Bubbar. Can he pull this off? Has quite a lot of resources. Might be saving for the avatar here. Most likely is. Needs 150 requisition, which won't take long to get. Right lance looks like it was taken out by those sluggers while we were watching up here. Nob squad trying to cap using their durability, but they lose a model there. And that was their Nob leader too, ouch. Ork, can she take out another model? She's so quick. No, they get away with 242 health across 4 models. That is pretty lucky, Orks. Sluggers now trying to cap. Ork jumps in and prevents it. Needs to be careful here though. Very nice special attack, knocking stuff flying. She's level 2. Can she hang with level 3 sluggers though? She can't and needs to flee. Farseer coming in with a special attack of her own. And the Nob leader went down. And the Farseer can now cap this VP surely. 250, 88. She's not, she's running somewhere. Here she goes, she's going to cap. Rumpelstilzchen though. Huge amounts of pressure on this natural still. Warboss capping. Shooter's taking over. Warboss is going to go try to scare off these puny Eldar. Ork doesn't want to fight him with that much health. And here's a fire prism. Does not go for the avatar. Big stomp misses and Warboss is forced off. Should have hit the Ork. Couple of hits would have taken her out. Finishes the cap 250, 66. Farseer finishing this cap and we'll have a 2-to-1 once Bubbar takes his natural back. Has tons of red, could put down an Eldritch Storm. Rumpelstilzchen has used War quite liberally. Ork now flees from the sluggers. Yes, has shuriken support. Fire prism on the field. Very nice fire support for Eldar. Has a spread shot and a focus blast. Spread shot makes it a kind of mobile artillery platform. Focus shot allowing it to take out big targets and other vehicles. Farseer taking out sluggers with special attack can now recap again and is keeping guardians and the Ork on his natural to guard it. 247, 54. Here's the Nob squad and a looted tank on the field for Rumpelstilzchen. Battle tank for Orks. Decent fire support. Has a big boom shot too, and this Ork needs to be very careful. Gets away, does she? Unbelievable. With 19 hit points. Nob squad going straight after this fire prism, and with those hammers they will absolutely demolish it pretty quickly. Shuriken setting up there to defend, but the Nobs backed off. Bubbar might struggle to deal with that tank if it's well managed by Rumpelstilzchen. Doesn't have the Bright Lance anymore. And again, pressure on Bubbar's natural. 222, 54. Fire Prism taken out. Sloppy play by Bubbar. This looted tank now has free reign if it can keep away from the melee of the Howling Banshees and the Farseer. Farseer to do some decapping of her own. Ork in melee with shooters. Warboss is there though with that claw, and here's his big stomp, and here come Nob squad. These Eldar need to retreat and they do so. Can he get another hit on this Ork? No, but the Warboss levels to 5. Farseer is level 6. And looks like she's going to finish this cap and keep a 2-to-1. Looted tank shooting up the shuriken, which moves the hell away. Needs to move further than that. And he's going to lose this thing. Finally retreats it. Warboss capping. Farseer now putting her webway gates into play, which could turn this battle around. 188, 54. The ever useless tank busters retreating. Well, Nobs bashing on a node. Lost a model, not sure how. Ah, we have another fire prism. Getting rear armor hits from the looted tank. What is it doing? There's a boom shot. And here come Banshees. looted tank not moving, and he's going to lose this thing. They're getting some rear armor hits, and with the help of the fire prism they take that thing out. Sluggers now in trouble. You swamp them though, giving him 50% resistance versus ranged attacks. And Banshees now in huge amounts of trouble. Need to use their fleet, but they can't. They don't have the energy. Retreats, will they get away? Yes, Sluggers level to 4 though. Here's use your choppers, boosting the melee damage of these guys. This is a global ability of the Warboss. Can they take out this Autarch? Constantly knocking her down, but she finishes the cap. Now in melee with the Sluggers, and they need to retreat with only the Nob leader remaining. Very tense engagement there. Rumpelstilzchen has Bubbar's natural, and Bubbar has Rumpelstilzchen's natural. Nobs are trying to decap. Right in the face of this shuriken. Can they pop frenzy? There it is. Breaking suppression. And now they go after the webway gate. Do they? No. Very focused on capping. Fire Prism really needs to be looked after. And here's an assault on Rumpelstilzchen's natural. All of this stuff getting out of the webway gate. Is that shuriken stuck? It might be, which would be very unfortunate. Here is another Nob squad. Guide, I think, put onto the Howling Banshees, and they're going to take out these Nobs. Yes. And stuff leveling up left and right. Howling Banshees are now level 3. And this is his second Banshee squad, of course. That shuriken is stuck. Howling Banshees now need to run, I think. Needs to use Spirit Stones. Not using it. I haven't seen him use it once. He's got the energy. And takes out the Nobs. Yes, special attacks take out 2 models. Epic stuff. The X up, the only thing alive on these Banshees. Really not using Spirit Stones. And there is the victory for Rumpelstilzchen. Epic ending. Bubbar fighting to the end, taking out 2 Nob squads in that engagement. Amazing. But Rumpelstilzchen just had too much VP pressure and takes the win. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.